Morning everybody, this is Troy from the Do-It-Yourself World and the Off-Grid Project. We got cold, really cold last night. You can see, I think you can see the frost line where the sun hasn't hit yet. There's green and melting and white and frozen. It is cold. It's really cold. Our strawberries survived. This is the third night of freezing. They've survived the first 2 nights, but I don't know about this night. This doesn't look good. I haven't done any video. We were out garage sailing. We got a free pedal boat for the cabin. And some other things. This is the holiday weekend. I don't know if they're... Well, I hope they don't die. I don't know how cold hardy strawberries are. But that does not look good. We didn't have enough tarps. Oh, I hope they're strong. I mean, that's really on there. That doesn't look good at all. This is Memorial weekend. And generally you plant after Memorial. And this is what you see why. We've been eating strawberries from here, believe it or not. My biggest concern, well, here you can see frost. Look at the frost on here. Got a good hard frost. My biggest concern is our gardens here. I won't open them until later on. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to be okay. In the mini greenhouse, we've had tarped up. I won't be able to tell until we open it. Oh, there's frost inside. There is froze inside. That's bad. That's very bad news. Oh, I hope we didn't lose our plants. Oh no. I don't want to start over again, even with a greenhouse this year. I do not want to have to start over again. I'm afraid to look and see what's in there now. Oh, I hope they're okay. It was sunny yesterday, so it would have warmed everything up through the sun shining. But that's frost inside my greenhouse plastic. You can hear it crunching. It's cold. The sun is coming up though, so we lost the flowers on the porch. We put them up on the porch, bundled up, and they died. The sun is just coming up and melting the frost off, but you can see it froze up pretty good. Up here, our greenhouse, we've got things covered. I won't look until later. I don't know how well they are. They're raised up. And here, I can see sparklies in here. She put spinach. They should absolutely be fine. That's a raised bed I built last year. Our asparagus is looking better. Still not really growing proper, but it's better this year. And we were going to have to put nutrients in them. We had, I don't know if I think she got potatoes in there. We're putting potatoes in these rows. In those 2 rows, we got to clean out the rye or let it grow and eat it. I don't know. But that's rye from the Amish straw. But I'm using that as topsoil for the rest of the gardens. My little baby tree is froze hard. I don't know how much ice they can take. I just don't know how much a little tree like that can take. I don't know, does that show up how frozen that is? I hope it's going to be okay. This is the second year I've been nursing that one. My marigolds that I just planted, I didn't know how sensitive they are, but they're not going to make it. We have 2 more freezing nights ahead. They're not going to make it through. I'm losing all my marigolds. I don't know about The lemon balm, it looks pretty sad. The tarragon is perking up. But from the time I went to get my camera and come out, it's already straightening up. You can literally see it moving if you stand still long enough. It's actually straightening up. See, the marigold actually, look, that's dead. I don't think there's any life left in that. That's sad. The oregano is dusted white, but this is pretty cold hardy stuff. The thyme has got pretty white caps on it. And my mint, I don't know, yeah, that marigold is shot completely. It's iced. There's ice on it. This camera doesn't focus either, I see that. It's sort of pretty. Something you won't see very often. There's an icing around the lips of the edges of the flower. That's pretty, but it's not something you really want to see every day. But this camera does not like to focus. Anyway, I guess we'll see how it goes today when it warms up. Today's going to be a little warmer, and then tonight's going to freeze again, and then we're going to have same thing tomorrow, I think, yet. And we'll see how it goes. And we're definitely losing some plants. Oh, I hope they recover. These are grown from nature, so we didn't put these. I mean, these we planted these years ago, but I mean they came up on their own. I hope they'll recover, because look, they're just about to bear fruit, and they're all just clumped over. Sad and pitiful. Our irises, I hope they're not dead. They just drooped over. They look bad. The flower heads look very bad. This is their second bad hit this spring. I don't know if they can recover, because they never did really straighten up. We've had more freezing this year. Some of the iris flowers are still standing, but we got 2 more nights of this, so I don't know if they can handle it. Yeah, that's pretty rough hit on that. We've had more freezing nights this year in the spring than we ever had. That plant didn't like it at all. Let's go over here. Yeah, that certain type of flower just doesn't like it. I hope my hyssop is okay. Lavender, it doesn't look good. No, the hyssop seems, well, I don't know, it's off color. I guess we'll find out. It's one of my favorite plants, but it's not very cold hardy. One lived and one died in the winter. And under here, even they got a hit. Under the tree is usually the warmest. Oh no, they got really, really bad looking. They're bright green color normally, and they look horrible. I hope we didn't lose everything. These all grew back on their own, so it's not like we just planted them and it's our fault. They grew back. And this is a late, hard freeze. We usually have a light frost. This is a hard freeze. Well, I guess we'll come out later and see. Morning, everybody. This is a couple days later. We had Memorial Weekend, and we spent some time with family and some time garage sailing. By the way, somebody said the place is starting to look like a junkyard. Well, it's a construction zone. All of this material is going to get used up for all the building and construction here. Actually, that was half a pallet on that fence already back there. So this is going to go away very fast once I start working. We lost almost everything. That tomato lived, and Melanie put those vines in just recently. And this was all tomatoes and peppers. Why one tomato lived, I don't know. Everything else was devastated and wiped out. One chili may have some life in it, But in my experience, once they're waking like that, there isn't much left. That's quite sad because this was a very healthy vegetable bed. Even in the greenhouse, nothing survived. It is incredibly sad. The only thing that survived is some kale that didn't seem bothered at all. Not at all bothered. Kale is the only thing. All my peppers, one might have some life in it, I don't know. One flower might have a tiny bit of life left. The peach tree didn't seem affected though, but it's complete total annihilation of all of our vegetables across the whole property. We had a deep freeze so hard that ice formed on the animals' water dishes. Thick, actually. It wasn't just a tiny little, it was freezing. And even in the greenhouse, we lost everything. And everything was covered. All of our plants were covered. We had 4 freezing nights, and the last 2 nights must have been in the teens here because it was in the 20s in Lewiston. And people in Lewiston lost their plants undercover. Undercover, they lost their plants in Lewiston. And it was supposed to be 36 degrees. And it was, they said, 28 in town. And it's always colder here than where they are because they got the lakes and stuff. But even over in Atlanta, some people lost their gardens. So I haven't heard about Gaylord yet, but all I know is that it froze. It wasn't just a frost, which is what we always get. Melanie and I have been prepared for frost. You cover your plants and they survive, as long as you cover them. And in a greenhouse, they should have been absolutely fine. But it never got warm during the daytimes, and then we had a deep, deep freeze. We had a winter type of a night. And kale is all that survived in any of our vegetable beds up here. In the orchard, the peaches, they got a little bit of weird damage here. Just a little bit of weird discoloration and damage on some of the leaves. My flowers are gone. Hardly even a sign that they were there. This one looks fine. And my cherry never did really look very good. So it's hard to say anything about the cherry. You just got little tufts of growth at the tops. The raspberries, my raspberries did okay, but I did notice somebody else has the big fat black raspberries that they took some damage. The top sections of all the trees, or all the bushes, froze down. This plant did, I don't know what it is, but it's went into fall colors already. Actually, these did too. They went into like fall colors. That one, that's a blueberry. It really went into the fall colors. The colors turned dark. So nature took a hard hit this time. I've never seen a deep freeze like this in the teens and 20s in near July. There's my flowers. They're just a crusty, dried mess. Oak trees. There's another flower, just all gone. The apples didn't seem bothered. This one still has damage from transportation when we brought it home. Oak trees took it the worst. It's all. I don't know if they can recover. None of the oak trees survived. That I have here, and you can see like the fall colors here and there. Everywhere there's a small oak tree, every leaf on it is gone. Every single one. Every single little oak tree is completely destroyed. I know somebody has black walnuts and they're gone too. I just don't know if it can recover from that. One of them was actually dried up and crusty. See, these are all young oaks. Where was that? An oak tree that was actually dried up and crusty. Well, anyway, look at that. There's no life left in that. All gone. The herb bed took a hit. My bee balm might survive because there's life at the tips of each stalk. Yarrow doesn't seem bothered by anything, but everything else is annihilated. There's nothing left. Nothing left at all. The peppermint, oddly, that I put in, they say that mice are not attracted to peppermint. It repels them, but they're eating it. My little apple tree has got fall colors. So I don't know what's going to happen if it triggers a winter or fall color effect. See, they all got fall colors on them. I don't know what's going to happen. Even my herbs, now this is the weird thing. My herbs that survived through the winter got burnt. This was a beautiful green, and it's all got burnt. This one wasn't affected as much, but the oregano, this plant almost got completely wiped out. And this one got burnt a lot. And oddly, the tarragon looks great. My flowers. My lemon balm is annihilated. And that is a perennial. And I don't know if there's anything left down there. And my peppermint, which was doing so beautiful, this was the variegated peppermint that had beautiful greens and whites mixed in. Now it's just all a dark burnt green. There's no color left. I don't know where the whites went. Oh, I see a lot of them are dead. Now that I'm looking, a lot of the peppermint leaves are completely burnt off. Absolutely dead. These ones have curled up ends. I didn't know if it was going to survive. Some of it burnt. That's really sad. Now the catmint didn't seem to care at all. Catmint, it did flop and curl over in the freeze, and then as it got warmer it straightened up. So did the tarragon, oddly. I was out here watching one day and it was bent over and it was just straightening back up. So there's a baby apple, fall colors. A lot of fall colors in the plants. So I don't know what's going to happen to nature this year. I've never seen this happen, to have a freeze. Well, we had a late, see all the fall colors in there? Starting to form. We had a late start because we had a lot of freezing, deep hard freezing, and our plants only just started opening up a month late. And then just as they're budding open, they get a hard freeze again. And like I said, see, there's fall colors. As I said, this was an exceptionally hard freeze. All through here, the only thing that really is doing well is the weeds. This is another herb bed that I have. One of my herbs is completely destroyed. There's nothing left. This was a perennial. I think it was an oregano. It's sad. There's nothing left. I really am sad about that because I've been working on this section. Even the roses got some fall colors. Everything Everything got some dark colors on them from the cold. A larger oak tree. I don't know if it can recover. I just don't know what's going to happen. All the way from top to bottom, all the oak trees around here that were only just starting. I mean, you can tell that's just starting to leaf out. We are a month late, month and a half behind. And it was a hard freeze. Like I said, we often get a frost, but not a hard freeze like we got. So I don't know what's going to happen this year with the trees and the plants. We were going to have a lot of beautiful irises. Look, these got crushed down again. They were just recovering from the previous freeze. We were going to have a lot of beautiful irises, and now they're all destroyed. Now, you got to realize we didn't put these in here. It isn't our fault that they're late. Or that, whatever, I mean, that they got froze. These are from nature. Look at them all. Destroyed all the flowers. It's so sad. There's only going to be a few. This was so abundant. The flowers this year would have been so pretty. But these grow up on their own when they decide it's the right time of year. And look, all the flowers have been knocked down. All of them. It's so sickening. It's so sad. They were going to be so pretty this year. Now over here, this bed, some of the plants got a darkening and a little bit of burn. The creeping phlox doesn't seem to care. And our raspberries are completely annihilated in some places. Look at that. The top half of every plant is destroyed. So this is a very, very unusual hard freeze from nature. I don't know what's going to happen to the wildlife and to the trees. Everywhere you go, anything that's stuck up higher is dead. All the oaks are, there's one oak tree, surprisingly, that is green. You can see a lot of dead on it. It did take a hit. And all the lower branches are all gone. That's very odd. So interesting, I see. All the lower branches, everything low down is dead and completely wiped out up to here. And only up top did they survive. Interesting. Well, I'll be curious to see what happens this year. Some things made it and some things got hit. What is that? Two birds are fighting. I think they're fighting. Well, maybe I shouldn't show that. Maybe they're not fighting. That got wiped. These are sensitive. And I don't know if that one's going to come through this year. But her chives are spreading and doing very well. Up by the house, our lavender did okay, and our hyssop is burnt, but it'll live. This is the best of all. We lost all of our ivy, which was really growing beautiful. It's all gone. It was, the stuff survived the winter. But obviously, since we removed the straw, it was exposed. It's all burnout. This was all beautiful green ivy, the British ivy. And that was the perennial. It's all here. That whole plant is completely wiped. There's bare patches where the ivy used to be in our garden now. This was a very full bed. And now there's bare patches. The catmint just drooped and then perked right up. And this that's supposed to be an annual is taking over, which is great. It's a good ground cover. Melanie's flowers we did have covered. There's some burnt spots, but other than that, most of the things did okay. Well, that's it, guys. We have to restart all of our vegetables. All of our vegetables are gone. Everything. And again, we're used to this area. We watched the weather report. It said 36 degrees. I said, okay, we're going to be in the mid to high 20s. Let's cover our plants. But I think it was in the teens here, because covering our plants didn't help. Well, that's it, guys. Talk to y'all later. We have to restart.